Hello, wargamers and military miniature enthusiasts on YouTube land. My name is Mike, and I've been painting Napoleonics for almost pushing 40 years, off and on. I've never been a very good painter, just a mediocre when I started, but with practice and patience, I think I've developed a fairly good skill that makes good quality tabletop wargaming figures. What I'm going to show is really for the beginner and intermediate level of how to base castings. It takes a little extra work, but I just view it as makeup on a woman. It takes a little longer time for them to get ready, but once they're done, they look more beautiful. And I think with the castings, even though your castings might not be perfect, they sure will look a lot better with proper basing. So I've got all the utensils and all the different material that I need to do the basing. The first aspect, of course, is to get the figures painted and glue them on a stand. Here are some French figures I have, a command stand of French. You can show you the quality that I paint. After that, once they're glued, I apply a base that I find very that helps out quite a bit, called Brown Earth from Viejo. I think this is very good stuff. And what you do is you get a little buck knife, a little spatula or a spoon. Because this will dry out, I just take a little bit up and then use the buck knife, and sometimes with little crannies, nooks and crannies, either a safety pin, toothpick, paper clip, whatever like that, and then you spread it out over the casting like this. These are Guard Grenadier Sappers, and if you notice, I try to apply it as evenly, as smoothly as can, fill it up to the base of the stand. Make sure, be very patient, try not to slop this stuff on the casting, because it's very hard to get off, wipe off, and you might have to repaint some of the figures if it looks too bad. After that, you need grit. I have grit over here. Railroad grit, get 5 to 15 millimeters, so get as small as you can. Even sand will do. And basically what you do is after you do the basing, you basically use scenic cement. I find this really good stuff from Woodlands. And you basically, after you get a brush and put the glue all over the stand, then what you do is you take just a little pinch like this and sprinkle like fairy dust. You just sprinkle all over the figure, and then let it dry for overnight. The next step is what I do is I paint it a little bit darker, and I find this Citadel called it's a Gortard Brown, whatever you call it. I'm not into Dungeons and Dragons type of figures. I'm strictly Napoleonics, but I like this color brown. And as you see of my French Legere here, or French Voltigeurs, excuse me, it's painted brown. This is when it's sprinkled, the actual color, and then I brown it with this paint to get a little more of a darker color. After that, I use this Viejo color brown sand, number 70-876. And what I do is I dry brush. If you're not familiar with dry brushing, all it is there's more instructions on YouTube, but you basically dip the paintbrush in the paint, and you wipe it off with a paper towel or cloth to get most of the paint off, and then you just gently brush what you're trying to paint, and it creates a 3D effect. So you can see it has more of a 3D lighter texture to the standard brown. After that, it's fairly simple, straightforward. Once again, what I do is I probably paint about 75-50% grass flock, and I just basically just get standard glass flock. I tend to mix it with orange too to make it a little lighter color. And what you do is you once again you use the scenic cement, and you paint, and you just apply the brush with the cement as to which pattern you want, and I just whatever suits your fancy. And then I basically dip it into the bin I have here of the flock, and that takes care of that. Then the next step I use static grass, as light color as you can, and once again, just much like the grit, because it lumps in quite a bit, I just basically once again take a little bit like this, and after I apply the cement to the grass again, I apply it to the green parts to get more of a greener grass effect. After that, add little touches. I paint some of the rock light gray, brown, dark gray, neutral gray, black gray. Add a little clutter on the field. That makes it, I think, looks a little more personalized. So that's basically it. It's a very simple process. I think for the beginner, intermediate, I think with a little practice and patience, I think they'll be pleased with their results. Here's a thing I've just completed, Italian. This is a northern Italian gun. And here's some Imperial Guard Mamelukes. I sort of enjoyed painting these because they're a little bit different compared to they look much more Oriental compared to European armies. I enjoyed painting those. And then my final thing I did was some old guard, the Dutch Grenadiers. This is when they invaded Russia in 1812, and this is their standard and command stand. So anyways, I hope you find it informative, and if you want to leave any comments, please do. Any suggestions of basing of what you do that might help other people, it'd be great. So anyways, happy wargaming. Bye now.